Hello, Heat Seekers. It's the Heat Sheet. Hello and welcome back to the Heat Sheet, your favourite occasional wrestling podcast that gives you the best wrestling news whenever it can be arsed. I, as always, am Kris Jack, the editor-in-chief of our fictional dirt sheet, and I'm joined just by one man this week, Lewis McNaughton. Lewis, how the devil are you, fella? It's been a while.
I know it's been too long. As what it is, we always complain that podcasts aren't coming out at perfect times and everything, and we get ready to go and something happens. So, it's good that we're managing to. It's the second month we've managed to keep to this format of getting it before the big show. So hopefully this continues. But yeah, I've managed to get myself sorted to go to All In on Sunday. So yeah, I'm ready to go, and would be rude of me not to come on the preview show, considering I'm there. But I'll try and hop on the review show with Steve. But yeah, it's looking like a good one.
Yep, it certainly is. We'll go on to it a wee bit later on, but I've not been as tuned in to the wrestling as I would normally be over the last wee while. But I watched last night's Dynamite from Cardiff, and I was impressed with a lot of the build stuff on it. Some of it was a bit rotten, which we might get into talking about at some point. But for the most part, the big stories, the big matches, the build to them was incredible off the back of last night. So as a go home Dynamite, it was pretty good. But we're not just going to talk, about what was on Dynamite and whatever. We are going to do what we always do here at the Heat Sheet, and we're going to break everything down in the form of a tabloid newspaper. So we are going to, as we usually do with these kind of review shows, we're going to look at what next week's headlines are going to be. So coming out of All In, we are going to try and predict tonight what the front pages would be on Monday morning, what the back page is going to be, and what page 3 is going to be the gossip pages. And we're also going to chuck in a wee kind of TV page thing later on as well. But before we get stuck into the wrestling, how's your summer been, Lewis? I mean, have you succumbed to a brat summer like all the youngins seem to be doing at the minute?
I've been looking to get away on holiday and everything, but I've not managed to get anywhere. So All In's my holiday, and then my summer's starting fairly late because I've had a really quiet June, July, and start of August, and I'm getting my summer holiday to Tenerife in the middle of September.
Nice.
And getting to All In start of September and everything. Well, end of October, August as well. So yeah, my summer's only starting now. And you never really get a summer when you're a full-time worker anyway. So
That's true. That is true.
you can take your summer whenever.
When you're off to Tenerife, are you a football top all the time guy, or are you taking any wrestling shirts with you?
To be fair, I might get away with that. If I was going with my girlfriend, I wouldn't, because anytime I even try and put a wrestling top or a football top on when I leave the house, she's embarrassed to be with me. So the fact I'm going with my pals, I might have a little Joe Hendry top on Monday. I'll have a Arsenal top on Tuesday. We'll get a Bianca Belair top on Wednesday, and that'll be sure to keep the birds away from me. So I'm sure she'll be happy either way.
That's it's all about self-preservation on your holiday with the missus. But no, it sounds good. But as you say, the main thing you're looking forward to this summer is All In 2024 at Wembley Stadium this Sunday, and with a very, very stacked card, as AEW are fans of doing. Which of all the matches on the card, which of them do you think is going to be gracing the front pages of the Heat Sheet come Monday morning?
If it was my choice of what makes a good match or what makes me most excited, it would be the ladder match for the trios championships. Just especially being in person, being Money in the Bank, it was always a sort of a dream of mine to get out of the live show sort of sphere of, they're not going to lose the title, you're going to get a little hardcore match at the end, but seeing everything live with the ladders and the unpredictability and everything was brilliant. But I don't think it can look any further than Danielson versus Swerve. It is going to be a a 5-star match, whether Dave Meltzer wants to put it like that or not. It will be a 5-star match, and along with the two of the best wrestlers in the world in it putting on a contest like that, the stakes are as high as they've ever been in AEW as well, and certainly the highest they've been in Bryan Danielson's career. So yeah, the story is matched up with the potential classic we're going to get, and it's unlikely to fail. Put it that way.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how the two of their styles go together. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we know that we've known for years that Brian can go in any type of match. We love seeing him do all the mat stuff and the submission stuff, but when he's had to come up against bigger, larger opponents, we know that he can handle himself in those ones as well. Fighting from underneath, that the David and
Yeah.
Goliath story he's told a million times is incredible. Swerve throughout his title reign so far, and even on the way to his title reign, he's done exactly the same sort of stuff. He's gone against wee flippy guys. He's gone up against
Yeah.
big guys like Keith Lee and Lance Archer a couple of weeks ago. He can hang with them, and we've seen him go against the likes of like Ospreay recently too. And it's just it's a stars aligning moment. The fact that you've got Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson. Who the fuck's Daniel Bryan? Bryan Danielson, uh, you know, coming towards the end of his career, whether Sunday is or isn't going to be the swan song for him, he's coming in. He's had Jeff Jarrett stoking the fire under him for the last few weeks as well. He's got the family side of it. His kids wanting them to lose so that they can get their dad back.
Yeah.
You've,
Absolutely.
you've got this fired up grumpy bastard, Bryan Danielson. Jesus, Bryan Danielson going up against a Swerve Strickland that is still a sadist. We've seen we spoke last or earlier this year, whenever it was, about how sick in the head he is in the Hangman feud.
Yeah.
And he's got a penchant for bringing people's families and homes into storylines, and that was one of the kind of the crux of his promo last night on Dynamite. That if he retires Danielson, he's going to make sure that he never steps foot in the ring again, even if he gets the itch. He's going to he's going to batter them, he's going to smash them, and if there's ever an inkling that he's at home talking to Bree and Birdie and the wee boy whose name I can't remember about coming back, he's going to be in the house as well. And it's just they've built it from a standpoint where after the last pay-per-view, Swerve was on the face trajectory.
Yeah.
But now he's they've transitioned him to be this situational heel against Danielson, and I think it's going to be an incredible match as well. What have you thought yourself about the build to it? What's been your kind of high points of the build?
I think that just the versatility of Swerve to turn into this sort of sadistic heel. We say situational, but it just shows the talent he's got to go from sort of a tweener and more so on the face side to being this full heel that you want to root against. And I know Danielson can make anyone the heel, by just being him. You can make him want to win so much that it doesn't matter who he's facing. It could be Santa, it could be Kai Osaka on my side. I would want Danielson to win, so it's. I know the story's been going along the lines of like Danielson going to be fighting for that career, but he's in a sort of sticky situation of where the people closest to him don't want him to win. That's an element of the story. I don't know if it makes too much sense. You know what I mean? Because you want to win, but then you're going to be letting someone down in the end. So it's just the promos that the two of them have. It just shows the leaps and bounds that Strickland's had from the days in WWE as Isaiah Scott or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
How underutilized some of the talents are, and just how much being against a Danielson can do for your career. So yeah, as much as the build's been great, I just can't wait to see the match happen.
Yeah, and I think regardless of the outcome of it, we're either going to get Bryan Danielson retires at Wembley or getting him as world champion off the back of
Yeah.
it. That's the two outcomes. And
The win-win.
I think it's a win-win for the
In
fans, I
terms
think,
of,
as well.
yeah,
If you are invested in Bryan Danielson, not just as a character, but as a person as well, he's beat up. You
yeah,
know that he's choking to just stay at home, raise his kids, grow some vegetables,
yeah,
do all the dad stuff. I mean, he's been talking about it for years, even as far back as being on Total Divas. You
yeah,
could see that's what he was. So as sad as it would be to see him go out on the Wembley stage would be the best way for them to do it. Alternatively, 50, 60 odd thousand people and Taylor Swift's entourage doing the yes chant as he lifts that belt aloft. I think that'd be an incredible moment as well. So yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how it goes, and I would agree with you that that is that'd be the one to go on the front page. But I put it out to our social followers earlier on Instagram and Twitter, the ones that are following the heat sheet, and we actually get some feedback. We actually got some
hey,
correspondence and interaction. So thank you to all 7 of you that have voted. But they've gone for MJF v Will Ospreay as being the front page, and again, it was quite a promo heavy Dynamite last night, which
yeah,
you would expect, on the go home. But the two of them, MJF and Will Ospreay, they had a great segment together, which built their feud even more, and they did a really good. It was a really good phrase. Again, they used. I know it's a commonly used phrase, but the way that they used it in commentary, where MJF said the quiet bit loud, that just when MJF basically admitted that the reason that he's so pissed off is because Ospreay's took his spot
yeah.
for the fans. That's just taking it there to that level. How what would be, I suppose, your ideal outcome from Ospreay against MJF? Would you be looking for the MJF to keep the American title and stay on this Hulk Hogan praising Lex Express type thing that he's doing, or do you think Ospreay should take it back to get the home pop?
I think it's you're going to need that one pop. There's not a. I don't think Mariah May is going to win. Hers, maybe she will, but obviously she's in the heel role at the moment. You're not going to get that big pop. So I think Ospreay does have to win, and then either announce right at the end of the match, sort of Kofi Kingston style, that there's a new belt, you've got the international championship back, or you've got a new British championship, or something like that, and get it away from sort of the American heel in the UK. So yeah, but if MJF wins, he's brilliant in everything he does. Is going back to heel is the best thing he could have done.
Mm.
It shows he can be a babyface. It shows his versatility with Adam Cole stuff, but yeah, he's always best at being a heel, and I think he is not the type of character that can stay down too long after a loss. You don't have to build him up again. He's already built. He's already a man. So yeah, the easy answer and I'd say the straightforward way is to put on a banger of a match, give Will Ospreay the big pop in Wembley, and yeah, maybe get another tattoo, a slightly smaller number on it this time.
Yeah, the tattoo the tattoo stuff was all a bit weird, but again, in some of the press stuff that they've been doing recently, MJF did go to bat for Ospreay
Yeah.
regarding the tattoo, so there was that. They had the 59-minute and 58-second match a few weeks ago,
Mhm.
which it split a lot of opinion, but it's been one of my favourite matches of 2024. I would hope that this one's not going to go an hour. There's no way that a match at Wembley should go an hour. But do you think there's going to be a lot of shenanigans? I mean, you look at last year's main event between MJF and Adam Cole, and there was a lot of bullshit in amongst the good shit. Do you think we're going to see something similar in this one, or do you think we're just going to see two guys going hell for leather to get it done with as quickly as they can?
I think it's going to have to be that way. You know, there's a lot of bad blood in the feud now. Obviously, the stuff he was talking about is like kids and everything like that as
Yeah.
well. It's going to be more of a. Obviously, the first match they had was a bit more technical. It was a sort of Brett and Sean style match, Iron Man. But they've set the bar almost far too high to beat it. You know what I'm saying? That's a third match finale. That 60-minute, well, 59, 58 match. But so it's going to have to be. They can't recreate that match. You know, they're going to have to go something different with it, and hopefully they'll learn from the Adam Cole MJF match of where the build was so good that it was almost impossible to fail, but the match was quite, I don't know, slightly poor and a little bit of too much goofiness and bullshit. You know, you got to just keep this a straightforward, absolute slugfest. Get the blood going again, like what happened on Dynamite last night, and you know, have two show that there's two people that absolutely hate each other as much as love that belt. So yeah, I think it's going to go differently, but we'll have to wait and see.
Do you think either one of them hits the Tiger Driver?
Yeah, I think MJF's going to tease it the whole match. It's going to have to be Will Ospreay that hits it. And obviously you've seen Danielson give him the
Give him
nod to
okay.
go ahead. Yeah, so that's going to be the finish. There's no way that he kicks out of it, or it's a stupid build. Or because I think if it was a case of, oh well, maybe Osprey will kick out of it, you know, maybe it'll just be the case of you can do it, but you're not me. You know what I mean? I'll get out of yours and I'll do it to you once, and that'll be that. You'll hit him with the hidden blade. You'll hit him with it's
The Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker. Yeah, you hit him with that. It won't be enough. He'll be in a sort of inner dilemma with himself, the devil and the angel on the shoulder, and he'll go fuck it and hit it, and that'll be the 1, 2, 3. I think.
Well, you mentioned the devil and the angel on his shoulder. I mentioned shenanigans. Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher will probably factor in here. I've read rumours today that Adam Cole is expected to be there in some capacity as well. So there's lots of outside factors that could come into play. But I think the fact that they went an hour with no interference like that. In fact, no, Callis did at the end, didn't he? Callis did get involved.
Then.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's set up to be a belter. But I do think that front page wise, the biggest story coming out of it is going to be related to Bryan Danielson. I've not got a pithy headline to put in here. I can't think anything off the top.
Danielson swerves retirement with big title win.
There you go. You can have my job. Danielson swerves retirement with championship win. We'll go with that. See, this I knew we would get that out of you at some point.
Don't want to be on the ball. I know. It's taking me about a year and a half to come up with a good fucking headline, but there we are.
So yeah, that's going to be a front page. Danielson swerves retirement to take the AEW championship. Now, for the back page, you had mentioned earlier on that you're looking very much forward to the trios ladder match, and that in any other event, any other pay-per-view, any other PLE, something like that would definitely make the back page the most action-packed match. Tell us why you think that triple threat match is going to be the tits. In fact, is it triple threat, or is there one more team to get added to it?
No, I think it's on Collision on Saturday night. It's going to be Top Flight and Leo Rush versus the BCC and the Pac. So I believe that obviously we know Pac's from England. He's going to get added to the match, and it's just the chaos that it brings. You know, it's just everything that a ladder match has, and obviously it's got some. It's not just got the flippy guys. It's got some minds of the business in it as well, and you know, a real innovator in the ladder match, and your father, my father, everyone's father, Christian Cage in it as well. So yeah, it's the case of just 12 brilliant wrestlers in it. You know, you've got Malachi Black, who's obviously we've seen him do the business in WWE. We've seen him be able to lead this gang. We've seen him against Adam Copeland in that match that took Edge's leg off. So yeah, it's a lot of matches and chaotic matches have always been a personal favourite of mine. So even if it's, I was listening to, I don't know if it was Chris Van Vliet's podcast. He had I can't remember who he had on it, but he had someone who was, I think it was Shelton Benjamin, and he was talking about how you can never really fail with ladder matches. Either they go perfectly or they're car wrecks, but they're fun either way to watch.
Yeah.
You know, if it goes brilliantly, then wow, look at this, look at that. But even looking at Money in the Bank last year, where Ricochet and Logan Paul went for a Spanish fly and nearly killed themselves, still looked great, still looked absolutely fucking brutal.
Well, even the women's Money in the Bank match this year, full
I
of
know,
botches, but was still really, really
matches in
good.
it. Yeah, I know. So yeah, it's the case of that. As long as everyone comes out healthy, um, it's going to be enjoyable. And even if I'm up in the heavens and I've got to use fucking binoculars to see the match, then I'm going to enjoy it nonetheless.
It does seem like that it's going to be between that one and the TNT Championship coffin match for what's going to be the most outlandish match
Yeah,
of the night. You know, last year the Stadium Stampede, which was crazy. That was one where Penta get carried out and then came back as
yeah,
Penta Dark. Moxley got all the Chinese sticks in his head.
exactly. Yeah,
Eddie Kingston being deranged looking as he always is as well. So I think that this is the either the coffin match or this one, the London Ladders match is going to be the one that's going to give us those types of moments on there. Looking across the full card to see if there's anything that might outdo the London Ladders match for the most entertaining or most sporting match. We've got the Casino Gauntlet match, which is set to feature Orange Cassidy, Hangman Page, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and more TBD. Are we getting Ricochet? Is Ricochet arriving in that match?
yeah, got to be Ricochet or MVP Bobby Lashley. Give us
Or
one of those people.
one thing that I'd pop quite hard for, well, not so much for him, but more so for her, Michael Oku. I think
Yeah,
would have a good chance of that, and if he's bringing Amira with him, it's from someone that has wrestled with her. I think last time I was in a ring with Amira, she shot out of taking a drop kick from me and made me look like a prick in front of the whole class. But yeah, to see where she's started from and where she is now on the cusp of signing with AEW, along with
yeah,
her man Oku, is incredible. And I think, you know, from the reception that Oku looks like he got in the dark match last night, I
yeah.
think
No, that was good.
I think he'll factor into that Casino Gauntlet match as well at some point. Although the Casino Gauntlet match is an odd one because they announce so many people, but it can be won at any time.
Aye.
So you know, you could. I mean, technically, it could be Orange Cassidy and Hangman start it, and Hangman just decks him, wins it, and that's it. Nobody else gets the shot at it.
Yeah, it's an interesting one anyway, put it that way. But yeah, you know, as wrestling fans, we know that's it's not going to happen. You know, every 2 out of 3 falls match finishes 2-1, all that sort of thing. But yeah, like you're saying, Michael Oku, maybe we'll see our boy, Scottish radio presenter, maybe make a little appearance again. Who knows?
Well, he is down there. He's
He's,
doing some show with Tom Campbell on the Saturday night. I think it is.
yeah, I know. So get yourself to that as well. And yeah, so there could be, you know what AEW is like. There has been quite a lull and a slowdown of the WWE departures, AEW entries. You know, because they went quite gung ho on it. Obviously, in maybe 2022, that sort of thing. With 2021, 9 or 10 within the space of 6 months joining the company, and we've not really had any majorly massive stars crossover in the last couple of years, potentially. So there is room for that.
Adam Copeland probably is your
Yeah, we've got we've
your
got.
marquee one for the last 12 months.
Mhm. So yeah, we know all these people. You've got sort of Edge and Christian comes from WWE wanting to finish their careers or try something different, but we've not had that star like Ricochet just back himself and go, you know what, I'm going to do this because it's a better opportunity for my career. So we'll see. Ricochet is definitely probably the highest percentage probability, and then whether there's a 90-day release clause on Lashley, that sort of thing. We'll just see, will we?
But yeah, it's interesting to see who it is, and in terms of that match, are they taking Hangman for it? Yeah. I think.
Unless you want him to continue the sort of downfall that he's on, just going more maniacal and crazy. He's backstage just taking everyone out. He hears they're in the match. He goes, "Oh, right, no what, chair, smash you to bits." And yeah, there's a story to be told with him there. I know we've had the sort of drunken hangman before, where he's in a downward spiral and he brings himself back up. No one can trust him, that sort of thing. But yeah, he's been a long time out of the main spotlight, and to bring him back into the main event scene and the title picture, even if it's a one-off, then yeah, he's more than deserves it.
Does the winner get a title shot?
Yeah, so it's a future title shot.
It's not like a cash in thing where we could see Swerve beat Danielson and then Hangman cashes in on him.
Yeah, you could see it. It's one of those. It leaves a lot to for them to play around with. It doesn't say they've got a title shot at this. I don't think it's future title shot. And you can't say.
Darby Allin's the number one contender because he won
the Battle Royal.
He won the Battle Royal as well for the Arthur Ashe. So, I mean, speaking of Darby Allin, he's taking on Jack Perry for the TNT Championship. Did you see the video of Perry making his own belt? Did you see that?
I did see that. I watched it. Yeah, that was quite impressive.
It took him up a couple of notches in my estimation.
Same. I thought he was like watching him. I thought he was just. You look at him and think he's a bit of a gimp, but he looked like a bit of a tough guy there as well, doing it.
I think you have to be if you're basically just carrying a bit of lava with no top on. Like,
fair play to him. He's been on fire a couple of times, so maybe he's immune. But yeah, this is. I think his comeback with a beard and everything. You know what a beard can do for you. I need to learn that myself. But yeah, him and Darby Allin, I'll probably feel the most uncomfortable watching that match. Because they don't seem to have any limits that they won't go to. I just hope Jack Perry makes it out of Wembley in one piece this time.
Definitely going to be some real glass involved in it as well.
Got to be, yeah. Yeah. I hope that exact same. I think you should wheel out that exact same car. Broken glass windshield. But I also seen that. A spoiler alert here if anyone doesn't want to hear it for the 17 people that listen this week. Sting has been slated to be in the country, so that's the latest news that came out today.
That'd be good if it was ringside or something, or
in the coffin.
In the coffin, or he helps Darby put a real glass plate over the top of a coffin drop on Perry, and I think that'd be good. Although I also saw a thing about Darby Allin trying to do a coffin drop off the arches at Wembley. So
I wouldn't put that past them.
I wouldn't put it past them at all.
Ridiculous.
Elsewhere on the card, so we've covered the Trios match, we've covered the Gauntlet, we've covered Jack Perry. You've got the tag team match between the Young Bucks, FTR, and the Acclaimed. You get Chris Jericho in a last chance match for the FTW Championship. You've got the Tony Storm against Mariah May, which we touched on a bit earlier, and Mercedes Moné against Britt Baker. I watching Dynamite last night, I've seen it being shit on quite a bit online today. Tony Storm and Saraya had a championship match on Dynamite last night, and they did a very World of Sport type spot, which
But
looked like
the new World of Sport, aye.
yeah, but they looked like they were doing it in treacle,
Slow
and
motion
it was
window.
so slow. And then I'd seen a clip going about of Becky Lynch and Asuka doing the exact same spot, maybe a year, 2 years ago, and it's
Yeah.
so quick, so fluid, so snappy compared to that last night. And I don't want to shit necessarily on Saraya, because I'm certainly not going to shit on Tony Storm because she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But is Jinx Saraya's done? Jinx, she's finished. Like she,
I think she's definitely lost a step or two, and I think if they've seen if they've seen a lot in her, should be fighting for something
mm,
at Wembley. That's her. They did it last year. They sort of shoehorned her into the match and gave her the title win. But if they've seen a massive bit of stock in Saraya this year, and she's up to much in the foreseeable future, then she would have had a bit more.
yeah, I mean, she's not
Come up
even
to
on the card for this.
no,
She's not even so in the space of a year, she's won the championship there. She only held it for like what, a month,
yeah,
2 matches, something like that. And then, as we say, she's not on the card this year. But it's Tony against Mariah May. Mariah May's been doing incredible stuff over the last while since she turned in Tony. But the crowds, I don't know if it's just AEW's ever diminishing crowds or
yeah.
whatnot. She's not getting great reactions. She's not creating heat.
No, I know she's new. This is pretty much her first. Obviously, she was in the Stardom, was it?
Mm,
But coming over to America, it's the Japanese crowds what they're like. It's sort of it's more of an applause than
mm.
a consistent cheer. You're not gonna get a "fuck you, Mariah" chant in the Tokyo Dome or whatever. But it's she's new to it. You've got to give her some time, and I think they're trying something different. This whole build and everything's been quite unique, especially for someone to come straight into. It's not as simple. I'm going to beat you because you're shit, and I think I'm better than you.
Mm.
It's been quite a long build. What is it? Over a year. The build's been. But
Well,
these two, anyway.
I think it was then about last autumn that she came in. I think
Yeah.
so. It's
hmm
been the bones are like 9 months anyway.
Yeah. So I think that maybe she just needs a big moment, to get people on her side, and get her away from Tony Storm at some point, because she's been sort of Tony Storm Jr. for the last
Yeah.
year or so. So she's always been in her shadow a little bit. So I think it's awkward how she's the heel. This maybe favours more of her being the underdog of becoming. I can do this by myself. I don't need to be in your shadow, that sort of thing. But whether the crowd just backs her because she's a hometown girl, um, like you said, it can definitely go either way. But I think there is a lot more for her in the future. She just needs a bit more at it.
Mm.
This is not her one and done. She's got plenty of years in the craft.
And going from someone that's just coming into AEW, somebody else that's recently came in is Mercedes Moné. She's taken on Britt Baker, and I think this is get potential to be a quiet banger on the card. If I'm being honest, I think if Mercedes turns up and is on for it, and if Britt can channel the Thunder Rosa match, but if she
Yeah,
can channel that kind of stuff, I think it could be a show stealer.
definitely. Britt Baker's proved over the last 4 years that she's dependable. She can put on a good match when she needs to, and you can put her in there with anyone, and you can get a good match out of them. And that's the exact same for Mercedes Moné over in WWE. She's been that sort of reliable hand. So if you give two reliable hands a spotlight like this, then the sort of visions and the skills that they have are there to be shown on the biggest stage, and they're going to put on a banger for sure. I
Yep.
just hope fucking Mercedes Moné changes her finisher at some point, because
Yeah,
that thing was
it's not good.
brutal. It's just the least impact on a finisher you've ever seen, and I know there's no such thing as a new finisher nowadays, but take someone else and make it your own. You know, that thing is just god awful to watch, and I actually cringe every time I see it because I'm like, you've just been battered the whole match. 20 minutes of 99% of her offense is more impactful than that move,
Yeah.
and you finish it with that.
Just go back to the bank statement. The bank
I know.
statement
It was good.
was class. But yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty decent one. And yeah, like all the controversy around Britt Baker recently, we're getting suspended for saying shit, talking shit to Alicia too, or whatever that is. It's when she's in the ring, that's where she's doing the best. I don't think she's the greatest talker, although the line in her promo last night where she said about Mercedes Moné being one of four and she's one of one. Really, I think that was quite good, and the little dig she had at Camille as well was quite fun too.
Yeah.
But I think if both of them are on their A game, that could be a potential back page maker. But I'm going to go with your initial pick of the London Ladders match as going on the back page. You get any headlines for that one? While I try and scramble my brain to try and think of one.
Let me think who's in the match.
Get the Patriarchy, the House of Black, Bang Bang Gang, and most likely the BCC. See, just on that, the BCC and Pac, is it going to be Claudio and Moxley
I think it's Claudio and Utah.
and Yuta? Because
Yeah.
Moxley missing out in this is a bit of an odd one.
I know
If it,
it's not sure if he's injured or not. I've
he's
not.
getting that holiday he was due for a year and a half ago.
I know he's at some point he needs time off. You know, he's obviously had his troubles and everything as well. So I think having a show like this off when he's got plenty of pals to do his bidding anyway, I think it's a well deserved break.
Yeah.
But I've got fuck all for you for the headline. I've used my 100% for that first one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Ladders match has biggest bang bang of Wembley all in. Oh, it's piss, but it'll do.
Bang banger.
It'll do. Bang bang, bang bang gang. In fact, before we close out, in any other year, do you think Jay White would have had a more high profile match on this card? Do you think
Yeah.
AEW have ruined him?
Well, he's obviously you've seen him as a young lion at the start. 10 years ago in the dojo and everything. However, he's like not everyone can like this might be controversial, but not everyone can be The Rock. Not everyone can be Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like you look at everything, and I listened to a video from What Culture. It might be What Culture or Cultaholic today, and they were talking about the 10 biggest missed opportunities of the Triple H era in WWE, and they were rattling off names that I was like, they're like Karrion Kross, like he's doing all right, you know, like it's not really a missed opportunity because not everyone can be Roman Reigns, you know. It's like things like this, and I just think that Jay White fits into that category at the moment of he's not the most athletic in terms of like he can do top rope moves, all this over the top, but he's not a Ricochet. He's no MJF on the mic, and he's not the biggest guy, you know. But give him some time, you know what I mean. He just build himself up, get him in a sort of higher caliber match when I'm pretty sure he's been injured, isn't he?
He's had a couple of issues. Yeah, I was thinking as soon as it left my mouth, I was like, "Oh no, it's going to be Juice and the Guns, isn't it?" he's not doing this match. Did he still carry about card blade like the cutout of him? Is that still a thing?
I've not seen it, man. I've not seen it. But yeah, just on the topic of Jay White, and I know we've just given collateral damage sitting there at home on his injury bed, just getting fucking shit talking about him by the heat sheet. But yeah, I think when he comes back, he'll have a story, but he needs to. I don't know. He needs to pick up on the mic, or he needs to find something different to really elevate him as a star that he can be.
Yeah. But we'll go with that. We'll go with the ladders match goes off with a bang bang for that one. In fact, that's maybe actually a good idea for a future podcast. Do like a fumbled or rumbled, like what the wrestlers on both sides of the WWE and AEW divide do we think of haven't been utilised to their best and who's maybe been pushed when they shouldn't.
Yeah.
So that's maybe an idea. Maybe an idea. So yeah, right, we will go on to page 3, which is our gossip pages. Who do we think is going to be, or what do we think the biggest gossip coming out of All In is going to be? Now it's got a very, very big job to follow after everything that happened after All In last year. But do you think there's going to be anything as controversial or anything as provocative coming out of Wembley as did last year?
I think that with all the egos and all the personalities that are in that AEW locker room, I think the biggest gossip and shock that could possibly happen is that they all get along, have nice matches, leave the building, have a Nando's together, and get back on that plane in one piece. I think that's the biggest shock that would happen to me, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement. I think if the event goes off without a hitch, that will be a success.
Yeah.
That'll be the biggest gossip on there. I mean, I know there's been chat recently about Ricky Starks possibly jumping
Mm-hmm.
over to WWE, and again, he's not done anything in
Oh
AEW
well.
pretty much since Edge called him Midget Rock or whatever it was
Yeah,
when they had that
vanilla
nearly.
midget.
Aye,
That another rock.
yeah.
And he
So
pipe back up with sending me over the edge. He's just never been seen since. You know, he's
aye.
kind of stuck his foot in it.
And it's a shame because like what they were doing with him and Big Bill looked like it could have been quite good. But there's noise that he's moving over. Noise that it's NXT he's going to. He shouldn't be going to NXT if he's going to WWE. He's main event, not main event, but you know he's main roster level. He's ready for that. And I think at the moment with all the the machine behind Joe Hendry in NXT just now, bringing in AEW, bringing in Ricky Starks, I don't think would be good for either Joe or for Ricky at that
Yeah.
moment in time. I'd also seen as well, again, maybe not as gossip worthy, but the WWE Vault had uploaded an old Gold Dust, an unseen Gold Dust match the other day.
Crossover.
So if old Dustin's contract is on his way up, could Cody be trying to bring all his mates
I
across?
think he should finish there anyway. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. And obviously Ricky Starks is like you're saying is a big Cody Rhodes mark. So you seen him out. He was at WrestleMania 40, wasn't he?
it
Was
was.
that
I
the thing? Yeah, he's just putting. I think he's just putting the nails in his own coffin of his AEW career, whether it's on purpose or um, he's just stupid. But nah, he'd be a good fit with WWE, and sometimes it's you can act, you can say AEW is your NXT and just put them in at the big time. You know, Ethan
yeah
Page is an example of someone that's maybe not got the full character ready for WWE. You know, he could maybe slip into that sort of another guy role.
yeah.
So
He's
putting him
I
to
think
build
he's
him up in NXT is good.
Ethan Page's character and mannerisms and way he carries himself to me is far too similar to Grayson Waller and Austin Theory.
Yeah.
And I feel that on a WWE level they are. Although I still don't really rate Theory that much, but on that kind of similarity, they are so far ahead of where Ethan Page would be,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I do
So
like
yeah,
Ethan Page. I think when they had him, was it they had him fight Kenny Omega in Winnipeg or something like that.
Aye. Mm-hmm.
You know, that looked like it was going to be a bit of a turning point for them, but they never did it. And American Top Team was a bit rotten as well, all in. But yeah, I think if there's any truth in the rumours of those kind of switches, I think that's probably the biggest gossip. I don't know of any other like contracts coming up soon, but I mean, we touched on it earlier with that Casino Gauntlet match and the possibility of Ricochet entering that or the Hurt Business. Do you think we see any big returns that could be gossip worthy?
Like you're saying, with the potential of Adam Cole, the potential of Sting, the potential of Andrade's old ring announcer or Walker. I've seen him being around lots of different companies.
Hologram might turn up.
Well, a hologram could fall from the roof and hit Hurricane Rana or something.
The Beast Mortos, those guys. Do you think?
I think he's great.
To be honest, I think I've seen a clip of his match with Hologram. I wasn't impressed with Hologram's first match. I think I spoke in the last podcast that I put out about how he didn't really. Well, I think the term I was it was all flash and no substance, like his name suggests. But but yeah, Beast Mortos. I'd be quite happy if Keith Lee made an appearance, just because we don't know anything that's happened with him as to why he's been off.
I think he's just, he should. I don't know whether he disclosed what sort of illnesses and injuries he had. But yeah, he seemed to have dropped off the face of the earth more often than we would have liked.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm going to round this bit out with a headline for the page 3 and say I'm all in on no controversy coming out of this one. All in on no controversy for that. Yep, low-hanging fruit on it. So, yeah, that's the sort of the main kind of preview of All In that we're going to do. Usually at this stage we'd have an interview with somebody or something in there, but we don't have it this week. But we're going to dive into the TV pages. Now, I was saying to Lewis earlier, pretty much all summer long, since Clash at the Castle, I have mentally really checked out of wrestling. I've not been as eager to watch it. I don't know if it's maybe because we've not been doing the pods that my interest has waned, but I've just had a real kind of lack of oomph, as I said to Lewis earlier on. And honestly, like I've been lucky enough to have done wrestling for a couple of years, not to any great level, but I've done it. You know, I've been in the ring. I've interviewed a lot of my wrestling heroes and guys on the up. I've trained, as I mentioned earlier on, I've trained with like Amira, Lyra Valkyrie, I was going to call her the only in there, Miley Grace. You know, girls that LJ Cleary, girls and guys that are going to be the next generation of top talent. So I've gone through this, and like when we were at Clash at the Castle, and I got the opportunity to ask CM Punk a question in the presser after it. For me, on a personal level, I kind of feel like I've completed wrestling, if that makes any kind of sense. Yeah. I don't know what else I can do or give to wrestling. And I mean, that might sound wanky as fuck. You know, that might sound like me being braggadocious and big headed and whatnot. But it's just that the way that I've experienced wrestling over the last 10 years or so. Getting to interview people, getting to train with people, and then peaking with getting a chance to have a bit of back and forth with a guy that I've respected for years and years within the industry. I'm not going to top that. And as much as I would love the Heat Sheet to be, the world's best wrestling podcast, I don't feel I'm going to top that. And I think from there, I've just I found it really hard to capture any kind of wrestling high since then. So when I was discussing this earlier with Lewis, I was like, Lewis, over those last 6 weeks or so, what would be the best things for me to go and watch? Or, any any bit of wrestling media, what's the best thing that I should go and watch to rediscover my oomph for the world of wrestling?
I've got a few things. I'll tell you one recent, one past, and another couple of things that you could potentially do. So right now, I'm loving watching Bronson Reed come out and just hit tsunami after tsunami after tsunami. Be a quick watch. It'll get you back into just seeing some of your favourite people to get battered, get battered. Watch any sort of collages. Something that gets me, it almost brings a tear to my eye, is collages of and sort of compilations and videos and TikToks or whatnot of the state that wrestling used to be in 10 years ago to what it is now, even 5 years ago, even 2018, 2019 to what it is now, with a little heartfelt soundtrack in the background. That always gets me proper buzzing to watch wrestling again. So if you can find any of the sort of Vince McMahon eras to the Renaissance era sort of crossovers, watch one of those videos. And in the spirit of All In's main event superstars, go and watch. I've mentioned it before, but go and watch Killshot versus Dante Fox from
Lucha Underground.
Lucha Underground. It's sick. It's brutal. It shows everything that wrestling's about. And even if you want something different, just go watch the whole couple of series of Lucha Underground. You know, that is something so different that might make you see a different perspective again. You know, it's a lot of negativity and a lot of real life shit in wrestling sometimes. If you want to just go and see a show, put it on that. And if all else fails, try and find the shittest, worst quality wrestling event near you, and just so you can say to yourself, I can do way better than that.
That's
I'm
some
this is a sad sight I'm seeing right now. If I got in that ring, I could put on a better match for all these fans right here. And there you go, you're back.
That's some solid advice. There's some solid picks, Liz. So thank you very much for that. The Lucha Underground stuff does intrigue me. I remember one of my favourite times as a wrestling trainee. It was before I'd debuted. We did a seminar with Paul London, and he was not long out of doing all the Lucha Underground stuff that he did. His White Rabbit stuff, or whatever it was called.
Yeah, the White Rabbit.
And he put like that the training seminar we did with him will stay with me forever. We used to train out of an old B&Q warehouse in towards West Belfast, and it was done about Halloween time, and the session was to go from 12 till 4. We were locked out until 3:30. So we were all just stood listening to Paul London tell these mental stories his time in WWE in a freezing cold car park. And then we eventually got to do the session with him. And like any wrestling seminar, you do loads of squats, and we were going at it, and he was telling us you'd like to do like hold the squats, so go down and hold it for as long as you can. And he was going over checking everybody's form, and he came up to me and he looked me dead in the eye and punched me as if he was going to give me a dead leg. And he's like, "Those are fucking tree trunks, pal." And I was like, life made. Paul London likes my beefy thighs. So
There's your headline.
Yep. That was classic. And then once we got in the ring, you know I never knew the name of the spot, but you know when it's like, you get two guys, one of them sweeps the other guy's leg, pins him, they both get up, and then the other boy sweeps the boy's leg, and they pin him.
Yeah.
He had everybody do that for like 20 minutes, and then he's like, that is the worst thing in any wrestling match because it's the fakest thing that anybody does. And then he showed us how to do it so that it looked like a shoot. And so all we did in that seminar, all I managed to get done in that seminar was watch that get done, and then the improvement, and then the match he had at the show we had the next night. It was him against Tucker, former WWE NXT UK fella Tucker, and it's one of the best local matches I've seen. They destroyed a foundation pillar in the hotel. it was taking part in as well. So yeah, it was all good.
They just know their shit, these guys. It's just they know exactly what they're doing, and you sometimes like think you can do it, but the little nuances and everything is just like, and how to captivate them is just like next level for these guys.
Yeah, it was incredible, and again, just the reminiscing, getting all nostalgic about that, is giving me a wee bit of fire, a wee bit of oomph, to try and rediscover that stuff. So yeah, Lucha Underground, 100%. I'm gonna go and check out some of that. But listen, Lewis, you have got a busy weekend ahead, so I am going to let you go and get packed. Do you think there'll be any decent merch to bring back from Wembley for you?
Well, if there's anything like fucking last year, I'm sure I'll get an extra large T-shirt. And if I want to bring anything back for any children in my life, I'll have absolutely nothing for them as well. Or an extra large. It reminds me of the time that I went to a show in Aberdeen, and only recently, now that I've started going to the gym a bit, has the top fit me. I was 4 when I went to the show. There was only a large or extra large men's Rikishi top that I could get, and my dad went, he'll grow into it one day. So he got me it, and I found it in the cupboard the other day, and it's a perfect fit now. So if I get in with that could be my merch. If not, I'll get one. I've got a Sasha Banks, and not Mercedes Moné, a Sasha Banks hoodie that I got when I was in my Loverboy phase of her and back in 2015. So I'll maybe get away with that if it's. I say she's on the card. Come on.
Aye.
But if they're decent prices, then yeah, I'm sure I'll want to. I like getting the I was theirs. Like I like getting the I was there for Money in the Bank, for the Clash of the Castles, those sort of things. So if there's an all-in I was there, then I'll be sure to pick it up. Hopefully it's just no more than 50 bar.
Smashing. Well, if you do pick that up, make sure you're wearing it the next time you are on the Heat Sheet. Now, we are hoping to get a review podcast done on Monday. I know it's a bank holiday in some places, so that might allow for this to get it done. If not, 2 or 3 of us, there'll certainly be one of us doing a review of the show. And we are hoping to get up some more content as well. Lewis is looking to do some list type videos, and we might do that fumble or bumbled list that I spoke of earlier on as well, because I really like that idea. But whatever you are up to this weekend wrestling wise, if you are going to All In, if you're watching it on the telly, if you are streaming it illegally on VIPbox.lc, or you are consuming other media about wrestling, about All In, elsewhere on the Johners Podcast Network or the Scottish Wrestling Network, however you enjoy your wrestling, just do it. This has been the Heat Sheet. Cheerio.
Yeah.
Hello, Heat Seekers. It's the Heat Sheet.